Got shaky legs, shaky arms. Okay, day 3 is here. Today is 5 RM of conventional deadlift and overhead press, reverse lunges, and I think that might be it. What I'll find out as I go through the app. Kind of a little bit later than I like to train. It's a Friday. It's getting closer to beer o'clock than it is training, but you got to do what you got to do. Trust the old pre-workout to help me get going. Definitely feeling a little bit sore, but as I said before, I'm not just doing this program, I am doing a little bit of CrossFit on the side. Mainly more just the conditioning side of it, not to actually have like a load intensity. I'm hoping for around that sort of 200 mark today for the deadlift conventional. It's a little bit stronger than my sumo. I don't really do sumo. See how we go today, hey? Bottoms up, let's warm up. So when it comes to the deadlift, a lot of people tend to kind of like overcomplicate it a little bit. And of course there's many things that you could focus on when you're getting into position. There's a few kind of fundamentals, but again, it's just about getting as tight as possible. And once you've learned your starting position and where you should be, very simply, you're just trying to stand up. And you're trying to stand up in a rigid fashion. You're not doing, the stripper squat stand-up sort of variation. You're just trying to keep everything the same and then just stand. You definitely need to learn to keep a little bit of tension in places, lats, midline, a little bit of tension. There should be tension in your legs before you drive up. But these are all things that you learn. So anyway, just enough little chat from me. Let's get into our 10 reps to start with. So I mentioned in the last clip about the foundations of the deadlift. So there are a few things that you should consider in that setup position. Here's how I tend to just word it. Very simply, you want your hips to be slightly higher than your knees. Otherwise, you're kind of squatting too much. I generally would suggest as well that your chest is higher than your hips. Otherwise, you're pretty much getting down like you would with like an RDL. It just means there's going to be more loading into that lower back. And because of the position of you and the starting position of the bar, you're probably going to flex more through your spine. So that's why I recommend keeping the chest slightly higher than the hips and keeping shoulders over the bar. You don't want to be in that bottom position where the wrists are further out because obviously that's attached to the bar. So trying to keep the shoulders over the top of the bar. Lats, core, push through the floor. Let's go for our 8, shall we? And there's the 6 reps in the bag. So 180 for 5 the other day. Definitely made a judgmental error on the sumos, thinking that 180 would probably be close to maximum, but not quite maximum. Whereas turned out it was very much maximum. I'm more confident that this will not be maximum set for 5. So I'll feel a bit weird if I'm wrong, but all right, let's get into it. We're good. So this is where I thought I might get up to roughly. Last set felt a little bit more intense. I can definitely feel it in my legs and my arms, but again, I've just got to try and stay tight. Bar bounces around a little bit on here. It's a bit spongy, so I might have to just be careful if it shifts a bit just to make sure I don't lift straight away. All right, let's go. fucking bounce. That's annoying. So I've decided to up the ante on that last one. But I really didn't like that bounce. So there might be a lot of adjustment. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right to have to keep moving with it, but I also don't want to spend ages on the eccentric because you lose a lot of energy doing that. So what will be will be. Let's see. Might not get it off the floor. That'd be annoying. Nah, done. Oi. Back to the old trusted spot after having to do the deadlifts in there. Overhead press. Just technically, just looking at it quickly, one of the biggest issues with an overhead press is the flaring of the ribs and that kind of arching into that lower back. So when you are doing it, keep the bar really close to your nose. Let your head kind of move out the way, but not move your whole body out the way. Sorry, don't just move via the hips. You do kind of find yourself swaying, like changing weight displacement into the toes and into the heels. So hopefully you'll see that I'm trying to really kind of keep the stack of the pelvis and the ribs at the same time. Six reps. I think the sooner I get this done, the closer I am to that beer. Matt Thackeray, nice little quiet beer, eh mate? All right, 50 on the belt. Let's see how we go. You'll notice I probably say that way too much. Let's see how we go. But let's see how we go. Oh, fuck me. Left side feels like shit in comparison to the right. That last set was a challenge, to say the least. So the fact that I'm going up slightly, we'll see how this all goes. Side's definitely feeling a little bit worse than the right. Three it is. Fuck my life, threes. Well, I should have done threes, not fives. Reverse lunges time, and knee sleeves on. So it is actually looking at not alternating through, so it's just going to be testing each side. So again, I've technically got to do fucking 20. It sucks, but I've already lost count. I think it was like 5. This is when I can start to feel that my legs are a bit sore from the other day. Oh well, we're here now, hey? Wee, hips, knees, come on son. Now that my heart rate's up, time to rest. Rig's now in place. Not because I should be failing now, to be honest, but for the later rounds. So I've made sure it's at the right height that I need it for. I'll start to kind of just dial it in a little bit. I must say, like, this doesn't give much leeway for hitting into these. So hopefully I don't have a spasm. Well, sorry, I can't say that. Hopefully I don't have a silly moment where I hit into the rig. Although it would be good for camera for a nice little fail. But yeah, let's not do that. So what we want to make sure we're doing when we're doing this is actually not, you don't have to engage too hard with your upper back quite yet. When the weight gets heavier, of course, treat it more like a back squat. But for now, just having that elbows kind of together slightly and up should be enough. I'm not grabbing the bar really, really hard as I work through these. And again, keeping that midline nice and tight, gently touching my knee onto the ground. I'm not smacking it in. I'm trying to keep my balance, and hopefully that is 8 reps. Hopefully. Anyway, warming up. After this set of 6, probably start to get a bit serious. Getting the knee sleeves on, start to engage a little bit more of that tension of the upper back. Midline's always on pretty tight anyway. 6 each leg.
Last set felt pretty good, so taking it up by a little bit of weight. Should be all right on the back. Yep, that felt pretty good. Again, I guess one of the things is make sure you're not taking your leg too far back. You've got to learn what's the right sort of distance for your limbs and what positions give you that strongest sort of push up through your legs. If your front knee goes too far forward, you're going to struggle a bit. But if it goes too far back, you're also going to struggle. So it does take a bit of time, especially if you're new to that movement, to figure out how far back to go. And again, the angle of your torso wants to be no more than what your back squat is. You certainly shouldn't be leaning forward a lot more. And hopefully, if you're in my heavier reps, you're not going to see a massive kind of like lean forward or one of those where you kind of do that. That normally suggests that the quads aren't strong enough, and then we're struggling to maintain our midline as we're doing it. First set of 5, 80 kilos. Let's hope this works pretty well. I've got my boy and client Adam in front of me. I don't know if you can see him. He doesn't want to be in the shot, but he can keep me accountable. He can check my form and give me shit the same way as I give him shit every Monday. How's the form check, ads? Where I'm watching? Ah, typical. It's all right. Didn't even count my reps either. Yeah, that was definitely a bit heavier. Okay. That wasn't too bad, weirdly enough. Definitely felt better on that last set, but I'm just a bit cautious about going up in 10s for this movement. Really just got to keep that balance there and not go too far back. I was concerned that I was going too far. Fuck it, let's see how we go. Got there, but that was a struggle. Now a beginner or even a smart individual would have considered not going from 100 to 110, knowing how that last set felt. But forget my 3, it's obviously been a standard for what I have been getting, but I have got those safety bars there to help if I do for some reason get it completely wrong. But you know, I'm trying to find the heaviest weight I possibly can do with good form for those 5. So I'm just trying to test those parameters a bit. Felt all right on the right leg, just on the other side. But like I felt like I could have gone for more. But the left was a bit shaky, so that's where I'm a bit concerned with on this. Holy shit. Come on, lefty. All right, nah. A 110 for 5. I'm getting any more out of the tank on that. Got shaky legs, shaky arms. That'll do, pig. That'll do. God, he's a worse coach than I am. Nope, nothing. 15.